A target appears. No warning, no time to prepare. It could be a truck, a weapons cache, a command post tucked inside a compound. And somewhere above it, a drone is already watching. Somewhere nearby, a special forces team is already in position. Somewhere offshore, a small patrol boat is already in range. 3 different platforms, 3 different locations. One missile, the same missile, and it's already in the air. The AGM-176 Griffin doesn't care where it's launched from. It doesn't care what platform carries it. It doesn't care whether it comes from the sky, the ground, or the sea. It just hits, and that changes how strikes are carried out forever. Most people have never heard of the Griffin. It doesn't have the fame of the Hellfire. It doesn't have the size of a JDAM. It doesn't get mentioned in headlines the way a Tomahawk does. But quiet weapons are often the most dangerous ones. The Griffin is a small, precision-guided missile, roughly 43 inches long, weighing around 33 pounds. Developed by Raytheon, built to be carried by platforms that can't handle the weight or size of traditional strike weapons. That's the first thing to understand. The military has always had a problem. Big missiles are powerful, but they're expensive, heavy, and slow to deploy. You need the right aircraft, the right ship, the right infrastructure. And by the time everything lines up, the target is gone. Griffin solves that problem differently. Instead of building one powerful missile for one powerful platform, Raytheon built one precise missile for every platform. Air, ground, sea, the same weapon. 3 completely different launch environments. That's not a minor technical achievement. That's a fundamental shift in how strike operations work. Here's why it matters. In modern warfare, windows close fast. A target that exists at 11:04 p.m. might be gone by 11:06. 2 minutes. That's all you get. Traditional strike planning wasn't built for that. It was built for the Cold War, for known targets, set coordinates, pre-planned strike packages. Griffin was built for the world we actually fight in. A world where threats are mobile, where timing is everything, where the closest asset, whatever it is, has to be able to respond. And that's exactly what Griffin allows. Let's start in the air. The MQ-9 Reaper is already one of the most lethal ISR and strike platforms in the US military's arsenal. It can loiter over a target for hours. It sees everything. It waits. But the Reaper was built around the Hellfire missile, a weapon that's effective, but not small, not cheap, and not always the right tool. Griffin changed what the Reaper and platforms like it could do. Because Griffin is light enough and compact enough to be carried by drones and light aircraft that couldn't handle heavier munitions. That opens an entirely new category of strike platform. Smaller drones, lighter aircraft, platforms that can fly lower, fly quieter, get closer without being noticed. And when the moment comes, Griffin is there. The warhead is small by missile standards, but its shaped charge precision means it hits exactly what it's aimed at. Not the building next to it, not the vehicle across the street, the target. That matters enormously in complex environments, urban areas, areas with civilians nearby, situations where collateral damage isn't just a tragedy, it's a strategic failure. Griffin from the air is about reach without exposure. The platform stays safe. The operator stays distant. The missile travels the last mile. And it does it quietly, fast, without warning. Now bring it down to the ground. Special operations forces operate in environments where air support isn't always available, where calling in an airstrike takes too long, or isn't possible, or would reveal a position. They needed something they could carry themselves, something they could mount on a vehicle, set up quickly, fire accurately, and move on. Griffin gave them that. The ground-launched version can be mounted on light tactical vehicles, the kind of truck special forces already use. No heavy infrastructure, no complicated launch system. A small crew can set it up, acquire a target, and fire within minutes. This completely changes the calculus of close-range precision support. Before Griffin, the options were limited. You could call for air support and wait. You could use mortars or artillery, effective but imprecise and loud. You could engage directly at close range, which puts your people at risk. Griffin from the ground gives small teams a precision strike option. They control themselves. No waiting for an aircraft to arrive on station. No coordinating with a pilot over a radio. No delay. The team sees the target. The team takes the shot, the target is gone, and then the team moves. That kind of autonomous strike capability at the small unit level is not something enemies can easily plan around, because they don't know where it's coming from. They don't know what platform fired it. They don't know if the next one is already in the air. Now take it out to sea. The naval dimension of Griffin is the one that often gets overlooked, and it's arguably the most strategically interesting. Small patrol boats and coastal vessels are everywhere. They're fast, hard to track, and they can operate in shallow littoral environments where larger warships can't go. The problem has always been firepower. Small boats are small. They can't carry the weapons systems of a destroyer or a frigate. Until Griffin. A Griffin-equipped patrol boat is no longer just a scout. It's a strike platform, coastal defense, maritime interdiction, rapidly responding to threats along a shoreline or inside a strait. Think about what that means. An adversary planning a coastal operation now has to account for the possibility that a small, fast patrol boat, one it might not even be tracking, is carrying a precision strike weapon. That unpredictability is a force multiplier in itself. Because uncertainty costs the enemy time and resources, they have to watch more targets. They have to plan for more contingencies. They have to account for a threat vector that didn't exist before. Griffin at sea doesn't just add firepower to small vessels. It adds ambiguity to every small vessel the enemy sees. And in warfare, ambiguity is power. Here's what makes Griffin genuinely different from almost everything in its class. It's not the biggest missile. It was never designed to be. It's not the fastest. It's not the most powerful. But it is one of the most flexible weapons systems ever fielded. And in the modern battle space, flexibility wins. Let's compare it to the traditional approach for a moment. Hellfire, effective, proven, heavy, requires specific platforms, costs around $115,000 per missile. A JDM-guided bomb, excellent precision, but you need an aircraft capable of carrying and dropping it. A Tomahawk cruise missile, extraordinary range and power, but launching one costs over $1 million and requires a ship or submarine. Griffin, lighter, cheaper, launchable from platforms that can't carry any of those other weapons. The cost matters more than people realize. Modern warfare, especially counterterrorism in a regular conflict, often involves targets that don't justify a $1 million missile. A vehicle, a small weapons cache, a single commander. Sending a Tomahawk after a pickup truck is not a strategy. It's a budget crisis. Griffin hits that same truck, precisely, lethally, at a fraction of the cost. And because the same missile works across platforms, logistics become dramatically simpler. One weapon system, one supply chain, one set of maintenance protocols across air, ground, and maritime forces. That interoperability is something militaries spend decades and billions trying to achieve. Griffin does it in a 43-inch package. Picture this. It's 0-200. Intelligence has just confirmed the location of a high-value target. Mobile. Moving. Expected to reach a safe house within 8 minutes. There's no time to scramble a fast jet. No time to coordinate a complex strike package. No time for approval chains that take 12 steps. But there's a Reaper already in the area, watching. There's a Special Forces vehicle 2 kilometers away, armed. There's a patrol boat offshore, waiting. The call goes out. Within 60 seconds, Griffin is in the air. The target doesn't see it coming. There's no roar of jet engines. No visible launch signature at distance. No warning at all. Just impact. The window was 8 minutes. The strike happened in 1. That's what Griffin is built for. That speed, that flexibility, that ability to take the asset that's already there, whatever it is, wherever it is, and turn it into a precision strike platform in seconds. No other missile in its class can make that claim. No other weapon of its size and cost can be launched from the air, the ground, and the sea with the same targeting precision, the same warhead, the same result. The Griffin isn't going to replace the Hellfire. It's not going to replace the Tomahawk. It was never meant to. It was meant to fill the space between, the gap where a target is too fleeting for a long planning cycle, too precise to risk a large warhead, too important to let go. It was meant for the moments that define modern warfare. The 2-minute window, the target that moves, the team on the ground with no air support, the patrol boat in the right place at exactly the right time. Griffin was built for those moments. And now that it exists, it's everywhere. In the air above you, on the vehicle beside you, on the water around you. This isn't just a weapon, it's a system that can strike from anywhere, and you'll never know it's coming.